Hi, I'm Yvonne Lai. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm gonna do a review on Zyon Grand. Would I put my money in it or would I pass? For those of you who have watched my previous video, you know that I'm an investor myself. Today I'm excited to do this review because I am a fan of River Valley area. So without further ado, I'm gonna start with the basics and then following with what I don't like, what I like, finally my price analysis and my conclusion. I believe everybody will be very familiar with this location because just last month itself, we have River Green and we also have Promenade Peak. So right now, Zyon Grand is the third one that is coming up and we are actually walking distance to both Great World and Havelock. So this location itself, just one stop you reach Outram Park, which is a interchange, and then further down you are going to go to Orchard and also the CBD area. So this location itself is really perfect in terms of traveling and having tenants, right? So moving on, let's look at the project information. We have two blocks of 62 stories building, and then there is also one block of service apartments. Total number of units is 706, and there are a total of 22 F&B shops, one supermarket, and there's also going to be one childcare in the middle. Moving on, this is how Zyon Grand is going to look like. So this short building here is the service apartment, and then these two buildings here would be the residential units. Okay, we have sky terraces in the middle. This is the elevation chart basically showing you that basement 2, basement 3, there's car parks, and then the landscape deck is on level 1. So our condo itself is actually elevated. Developers and consultant team, I believe everybody know who CDL is, and then also Mitsui Fudosan Group. They are Japan's largest real estate developer. So this development itself is very, very premium. This is just some accolades of the developers, and CDL have also built a well hill which is just very, very close by. Right, Boulevard 88 is also by them, and this is some of the developments that Mitsui Fudosan Group built. Alright, moving on to the unit mix, we have 1+ study all the way to 5 bedrooms, and over here you can also see that the unit mix is not bad. The smaller units, right, 1 bedrooms we only have 8%, 2 bedrooms 33%, now 3 bedrooms we have 42%, 4 bedrooms 14%, and then lastly 5 bedrooms at 3%. So this developer built it in a way that is pretty own stay centric. This is the maintenance fee, so 400 plus for the smaller units, 536 for the some of the 2 bedrooms and the 3 bedrooms, and then 4 bedrooms onwards it's $670, and then after that if you reach the 5 bedrooms it will be $700 to $900. Maintenance fee is not the cheapest, but it's also something that is still acceptable within this area. Alright, so elevations and level. So this is how it's going to look like. I mentioned earlier just now we have 22 shops, 1 supermarket and 1 early childhood development. Okay, so this will all be at basement 1, the lower first. Alright, and our first stories would then be our facilities deck. This residential block itself is all elevated on the 2nd story onwards. Further zoom into the facilities, over here we have a tennis courts, we also have pool in the middle, function room in the middle, and our blocks are mainly north-south facing with slanted west or morning sun. Alright, now let's move on to the floor plan analysis. So let's look at the first one, which is a 1+ study. This 1+ study is a typical layout. You enter from the kitchen here, and then it's a galley kitchen, and then you have a dual entrance and the study is over here. There's only one stack for this stack 11. And stack 11, it's this one facing outside. So I've put this site map here to compare side by side what your view is and also where Promenade Peak is. Next, let's move on to the 2-bed 1 bath, our smaller 2-bed 1 bath at 538 square feet. This layout itself also very interesting because it's very rare to not have a balcony. Alright, then the rest of it is very common, just 2-bed dumbbell layout, 2 rooms at the side, open kitchen. Alright, we have stack 5, and stack 5 would be this one over here, facing the facilities of Promenade Peak. Next one, 646 square feet, 2-bed 2 bath, traditional layout where all the rooms are tucked towards one side. There's only one stack, stack 12, and if you zoom in, stack 12 is the one facing Kim Seng Road. So for this stack itself, you can expect to be able to hear the road noise. Kim Seng Road is a busy road. Moving on, we have the 2-bed plus study, 721 square feet. So this layout itself, also quite typical and closable kitchen, study at this side. And one thing that I like is the toilet. This common room is not dual entrance. In this way, you don't have to forget that you forgot to lock the door. And there are two stacks of this, stack 4 and stack 10. Stack 4 would be these facing, so you're going to see Promenade's peak facilities, which is quite nice. And then stack 10 is over here. This will be road facing and tennis court facing. Next, moving on, we have the 818 square feet. This is not the smallest 3-bedroom, but I don't like this layout because it's an open kitchen concept. And then when you enter, it's just traditional layout, the rooms towards one side. Okay, there is only one stack. Stack 6 is this corner here facing the facilities of Promenade Peak. Moving on to the 861's 3-bedroom compact layout. This one, I am okay with it because we have an enclosed kitchen, entrance is the foyer, and the rest is typical, it's the same entrance over here. This one, you have stack 3 and stack 9. Stack 3 is here, and then stack 9 is here. So it's either you view the facilities of Promenade Peak or you view the tennis courts. Next one, we have the 3-bedroom plus study. This is 1,055 square feet. For this stack itself, it will be stack 7. Stack 7 would be over here, looking outside to the facilities level. Okay, but this stack, just take note that it's quite close to your service apartment, yeah? So, service apartment is level 36, so you got to take something higher if you want to clear and have a south view, but otherwise, you will have something beside you blocking you. Okay, layout itself, we have a dumbbell layout, so 1 room here, 2 rooms here, coming in enclosed kitchen with water closet. One thing that it's a bit of limiting is this home shelter. It's only 1.65 meters. So if you want to house your helper inside, it will be very small unless your helper is short. Okay, but I really like the landscape layout of the living room because you can really knock this thing down and then living room and dining area will be wide landscape area. Only thing is there's this beam over here that you can't hack, but otherwise layout is still okay. Alright, moving on, we have a slightly bigger 3-bedroom 1076, and this one is at stack 2. So zooming in to show you, stack 2 is over here. You get to see the full facilities of Zyon Grand. It's pretty similar, so landscape layout living room, you can hack down this one. Next, we have the 4-bedroom premium with private lift. This is 1,421 square feet. Alright, so we have stack 8. This 4-bedroom premium is also a premium block. So stack 8 itself faces the facilities over here, and I would believe that this would be the quieter facing. Layout itself is very nice, wide living and dining frontage, private lift lobby coming out, you have a dry kitchen coming into your wet kitchen area. Your utility room also have a window, which also means you can really house your helper in it. Right, and then there's a junior master, and then the other rooms are all towards one side. Okay, moving on, we have a slightly 4-bedroom supreme with private lift. This one, you have stack 1. Stack 1 would be here facing the full facilities view of Zyon Grand. This master bedroom is a bit bigger, kitchen is a bit bigger, and then your junior master is also a bit bigger. Okay, moving on, our 4-bedroom supreme plus study, this is at 1615 square feet. So this will be from level 44 onwards at stack 8, which if you zoom in, it will be this one here facing here, level 44 onwards. Yeah, so living area also basically dumbbell layout and then study space here. We have a slightly bigger 5-bedroom, 1819 square feet. The main difference, 1 more bedroom here, and then also your living room is bigger. Alright, so this stack is stack 1. So again, level 44, above this is 5 bedrooms. Below that is a 4-bedroom. Moving on, we have 2 penthouses, 2,659 square feet and 2,756 square feet. So these 2 penthouses are pretty similar. The difference in the size would be where I highlighted. For this unit 6208, your bedrooms are a bit bigger. But for 6201, your living room, kitchen area, and your master bedroom is a bit bigger. Alright, now let's move on to what I don't like about Zyon Grand, okay? Firstly, there will be a lot of supply that will be TOPing in 2030 or 2031. So basically, there are 3 new launches there, River Green, Promenade Peak, and Zyon Grand. And River Green, we have 500 plus units, Promenade Peak 500 plus units, and Zyon Grand 700 plus units. In total, 1,826 units going to come out at the same time in 2030. Can you imagine the supply? The tenants who are going to rent your place will also be jumping around looking at what suits them best. Upcoming, there's also going to be 2 River Valley sites, yielding up to 960 units. So these are the 2. They are closer to the Great World City site, which is near River Green. So if this is launched, and if they are ready by 2031, there's going to be additional supply coming into this area. So this is something that to me, supply will be a concern just because everything will come out at the same time. In terms of the development design itself, I feel that if you're a family-oriented person, you will like Zyon Grand because it's a lot of kids-friendly and then there's more number of 3 bedrooms there. Next, another thing that I don't like or will take into consideration is I feel that Zyon Grand will be a bit more crowded. If you look at the facilities itself compared to Promenade Peak, you realize that Zyon Grand's facilities are all on level 1, whereas Promenade's Peak facilities are spread in level 1, we have the Grand Promenade and then Social Peak level 22, the Wellness Deck level 43, and then there's also a sky pool roof bar on the rooftop. Whereas for Zyon Grand, we don't have these, and the sky terraces over here, I honestly don't think you will use that area. If you're someone that like a bit quieter place, I guess Zyon Grand will not be a development that you will enjoy because I believe it will be a bit crowded. The developer is focused more on own stay, and you can see there's more numbers of 3 bedrooms built here. So you can imagine the amount of families, the number of families staying here with kids around. However, if you like the hustle and the bustle and the kids noise, I think this will be a perfect and great condo for you to stay in because then you get the atmosphere of a homely place. Also, one thing that probably I also don't like is this service apartment that is nearby. I think it's a bit close. Like, I don't understand why the developer is building it close. I guess because of the land size, right? But yeah, given that this is a bit close, right? This premium stack over here, you really have to clear stack 36. Even 36 will be a bit unsightly because you will not be fully able to clear this thing. Yeah, so if you want to buy this stack here, I feel that anything that is higher will have a better unblocked view facing. If you compare, let's say, if you like somewhere quieter, definitely I think Zyon Grand will not be one of your considerations unless you're okay with noise. And that is pretty much what I don't like about Zyon Grand. Okay, next let's move on to what I like about Zyon Grand. So firstly, schools is very important. We are 1 km to River Valley Primary School, which is great. The other schools are within 2 km, which is still okay. And River Valley Primary School is one of the top schools in Singapore. So I believe parents would pay just to be within 1 km of the school. So this would be great for the future parents wanting to buy a location, which then one of the newest development here will be Zyon Grand. So you will be chosen. Next, there is also a better unit mix compared to Promenade Peak because Zyon Grand is more homestay centric. As you can see over here, number of 3 bedrooms is 42%, and then 4 bedrooms is 14% with 3% of 5 bedrooms. So our 1 and 2 bedrooms is not so much. However, for Promenade Peak, right, 1 bedroom is 13%, 2 bedroom is 54%. And the 3 bedrooms, right, are only 20%, 4 bedrooms 10%. So over here, you can really see the differences already, how CDL wants the development to be, and also for All Green, they build it mainly for investment purpose. Next, River Green is the same thing. If you look over here, right, River Green has 1 and 2 bedrooms of 73%. It is more investment centric. The percentage of 1 and 2 bedrooms is 73.5%. However, for 3 and 4 bedrooms, it's only 26.5%. Which also means next time in the resale market, right? River Green, Promenade Peak, these ones will be more investment centric. The buyers that is going to come will also be more price sensitive. However, if you're in Zyon Grand, this will be the only one that is more livable for families. So definitely in terms of own stay, people will then go to Zyon Grand instead of River Green or Promenade Peak in the general schemes of things, right? There's also a better site plan compared to Promenade Peak, which is our neighbor and our direct competition. So north, south, east, west, they are very proud. Developer says that you have the views from every direction. But you realize that there is direct west facing, there's also direct east facing. And these units, right, that is direct west facing, you have your 3 bedrooms here. You also have your 1 bedroom or the investment units over here for the direct east facing. And then if you're above level 44, which is your promenade suites, right, your 5 bedrooms and your 4 bedrooms, can you imagine these are full west sun facing? So in terms of the site plan itself, definitely Zyon Grand will win because we are mainly north-south facing. Even if you have a bit of the sun, right, it's going to be slanted and it's not directly shoot into your unit. And this is where you can see, I placed them side by side. So north, south, east, west. So this one you can see for Promenade Peak. this will be the west sun, this will be the morning sun. And then for Zyon Grand, any sun coming in will be angled. Any morning sun coming in, I mean here will be angled, here will be angled. It's really slanted morning and west sun coming into your unit. So definitely much better. Okay, next we move on to floor plan. Floor plan is also definitely better than Promenade Peak. So the one bedrooms and the smaller types, right, honestly they don't have much difference, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I have actually taken out some floor plans that I think Zyon Grand wins Promenade Peak. So this is the 2+ study, and Zyon Grand's 2+ study is a typical dumbbell layout with study in the middle, and then of course one bedroom and then the master bedroom here. If you zoom in to see Promenade's Peak, 2 bedrooms, you realize that there are 2+ study floor plan. Coming in, this is your this is your study, and then your kitchen area, it's not enclosable. It's a traditional layout. Another layout here is the same thing. You come in, there's a long foyer, wasted space, study space here, and then it's like a gun, you know. There is another 2 study which is at this corner, then the kitchen over here, and the bedrooms here. I mean, if you compare this 2+ study layout, right, no brainer, definitely Promenade Peak will lose. Zyon Grand will be the winner. Next, I also compare the 3-bedroom layout for Zyon Grand and Promenade Peak. And over here, the 1076 square feet layout, right, this is pretty much like a dumbbell, and then we have a landscape living room, right? However, for Promenade Peak, it's either you get this gun shape layout where your kitchen is here, and then if I never remember wrongly, this is all the west sun facing, and the other one that you are going to get similarly kind of like a landscape layout, but here is your kitchen. So technically your living and your dining space is also still vertical layout. So in terms of landscape layout where you can hack down the study over here, this is definitely going to be more premium because people usually spend time in the living room as well. If I compare Promenade's Peak 3-bedroom premium comparing to just now the exact same layout in Zyon Grand, this Promenade Peak 3-bedroom premium is slightly better. Over here, you can see private lift coming in. This will be your L-shaped living dining space. And then same thing, private lift coming in. This is your L-shaped living and dining space. But the key thing is still my balcony and my living space. My balcony and my living space is still vertical. There is no horizontal layout, which then this floor plan for Zyon Grand definitely will be the better one. Okay, next. If you watched the previous video, you will know that I'm an ex-owner of Sterling Residences. Why? Because District 3 is tested and proven it has one of the highest rental in Singapore. So here, I've plotted this chart here over for you to have a look. I'm plotting with District 3, D9, 11, 10, 15, even D15 where the east side is the best side, to see how is the rental transacting at. So over here, you can see that District 3, which is the blue color line, right, actually supersedes all other locations. And this one I really can vouch for it because when I rented units in Sterling Residences, usually it's super fast. And the tenants really like this area. It's not too directly in CBD, but it's still slightly further away, yet the distance is still near. So if you're looking for investment, I mean this area definitely for long-term investment, you don't have to worry about vacancy costs. Definitely you can rent it out and location is great. It's walking distance to a lot of things, and if you want to drive near the highway and everywhere, this definitely wins hands down. Next, when we talk about exit plan, this area itself, there's also a lot of HDB upgraders, and mainly in District 3, right? This is one of the areas. District 3 has the highest transacted HDB, hitting 1.65 million. So can you imagine all the HDB upgraders from the upper area of District 3, they will want to come closer to town, and this will be where your buyer's pool will come from. Let me show you where other HDB upgraders are going to come from, and these are areas that are not cheap. So over here, you can see, let me just zoom into this area, right, to find you where Zyon Grand is, which is this area. So this plot of land here. I have plotted the chart over here, basically District 2, District 3 and District 5. Mainly, we are all very close to Zyon Grand, and as I mentioned earlier on, HDB upgraders, where would they want to go? Is always closer to town. So people from the Clementi area, which is also $1 million HDBs, going to come down. There's another batch at Henderson Wave area also. This batch of HDB, right, is also going to come down. Telok Blangah, there's also HDB clusters over there, and they are not transacting at cheap prices. They are all highly expensive also. Where will they upgrade? Definitely closer to town. Not forgetting, just now when I mentioned Dawson area, these whole areas also have HDB upgraders that are going to come down. This blue color part here show you the past transactions. I have only plotted 4 bedrooms and above, and 4 bedrooms, right, their transacted price minimally is 805,000 and up to 1.65 million. And right now you can see that there's 74 resale HDBs with 283 listings. This also means that a lot of HDB upgraders are selling and wanting to upgrade to closer to town. And you can see their prices. Some of them, the highest price that is being posted is at 1.76. So this is tested and proven. This area, I've done many transactions before. As I mentioned in my earlier video in Penrith, people here, once they sell their 4-room flat, they can really comfortably upgrade to a 2.5 million property without touching their savings and afford a 3-bedroom. So let's say if they pump in a bit more of their savings, right, they can easily buy a 3-bedroom in this area. So that is why whenever I look at properties, to me exit plan is very important. There's definitely a few factors that I always look at. Who is going to buy from you next time? And this area, Zyon Grand area, District 3, tested and proven. Plus, we are going to be the family-oriented condo at this area. So why not? The last one, which is Unbeatable Lifestyle. I believe everybody who are there, you will know that this area is walking distance to Great World City. We are sheltered all the way to Havelock MRT. There's a cinema, there's a supermarket, there's hawker center, there's basically everything. If you want cafe, you can just walk towards the shop houses. There's cafe over there. If you want something cheaper, you can always walk towards the Tiong Bahru market. There will be hawkers over there also. I mean, in terms of lifestyle, if you want to run by the river all the way to CBD area, it's also going to be possible. So I have clients living in that area, and I always imagine myself going into this area also, and now this is the chance. So in terms of lifestyle, definitely I think the intangible benefits of living here outweighs a lot of things. Yep, so this is what I like about Zyon Grand, and next we're gonna go through the price analysis. So this is the indicative price of Zyon Grand. It's pretty straightforward because some of them, you only have one stack. I have pointed out this one. So basically the 721 square feet, we have 2 stacks. So for the cheapest unit, right, this is where I think the cheapest unit will be stack 10, because we are facing the tennis court and also we are facing Kim Seng Road. The other 721 square feet inside here is actually facing the facilities of Promenade Peak, which I think is nice, and it's going to be quieter. Alright, next one, the 3-bedroom plus study. This layout itself pretty similar. We have 1055 and 1076. So if you ask me which one will be starting from 2.938, to me it will be stack number 7, because stack number 7 versus the other one that is inside here, stack number 2, this will be pool facing, whereas stack number 7 is actually outside. Not really outside, but still you don't get to see too much of the facilities. This is just a recap of how Promenade Peak is. So looking at the view here and how the whole orientation is, right? And just a refresher again, this is how Promenade Peak looks like, and then this is Zyon Grand with these 2 towers as residential blocks. Alright, because I'm going to move on to compare the prices between Zyon Grand and Promenade Peak. Zyon Grand's official price guide. Okay, so if we compare Zyon Grand's price and Promenade Peak, actually Zyon Grand has a little bit more of a premium. You will realize that Zyon Grand has higher PSF compared to Promenade Peak. However, the quantum itself is lower than Promenade Peak because the sizes for Promenade Peak is bigger. The 1 plus study in Zyon Grand is 474 square feet, whereas for Promenade Peak, it starts at 527 square feet. Okay, that's why your 1-bedroom over here, starting price, the lowest price is 1.4. Whereas for us, we're gonna start at close to 1.3. Our smallest 2-bedroom is without balcony at 538 square feet. Whereas for Promenade Peak, this is 657 square feet. And also explain why the quantum is at 1.78 for the cheapest unit versus ours at 1.468. If you talk about the 3 bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms is the same thing. Our smallest 3-bedroom, we have 818, and we also have a smaller one, 861. But for Promenade Peak, right, the smallest 3-bedroom is 1033 square feet, which explains why the quantum here is at close to 2.8 million versus ours starting at 2.2 million, which is a very good middle point for HDB upgraders to look at entering something in the future less than 3 million or less than even 2.8 million if the sellers are not greedy over here. Next, if you look at the 4-bedroom premium, you will realize that our size and Promenade's peak size is about the same. But ours is starting from about 4 million, whereas this is at 4.6. The reason is because Promenade's peak 4-bedroom starts at level 44 and hence the premium. Whereas for a start, the smaller 4-bedrooms, the 4-bedrooms at Zyon Grand starts from level 2. So these also gives enough buffer for HDB upgraders or any upgraders to look at getting a 4-bedroom in Zyon Grand versus having to enter Promenade Peak directly at level 44. Right? If you look at the 5-bedroom itself, our 5-bedroom size is slightly smaller, about the same. But in terms of the entry price, over here, the entry price is also 6.4 versus ours starting at close to 6 million. Right, in terms of PSF for Promenade Peak is for the bigger units, right, is actually higher than ours. So what does this mean for you if you're going to look at Zyon Grand is that in future, your unit will be more palatable depending on what unit type that you buy. Because CDL price it this way and with GFA harmonization, because of the smaller size, it's easier to enter. The barrier of entry for Zyon Grand is lower. So this definitely, I believe, will help in terms of the resale market in the future when you're exiting. Right, next one, let's compare River Green. Moving on to looking at River Green. River Green, right, has a bit of a higher PSF compared to Zyon. Again, Zyon is in the RCR zone, District 3. River Green is in CCR. And River Green, right, interestingly, the quantum is lower because River Green's size is compact, really compact. So when you compare the 1-bedroom, right, River Green 1-bedroom is at 420, so their entry price is actually 1.171 for the cheapest 1-bedroom. Whereas for Zyon Grand, we are going to start at close to 1.3 million, so there's a gap. Okay, next one, if you look at the 2-bedrooms, the smallest 2-bedroom is 527 square feet versus our 2-bedroom, which is at 538 square feet. So these, in terms of the starting price, is almost the same. Ours is still a little bit more expensive at 1.468 versus River Green at 1.455. Okay, next, if you look at the 3-bedrooms, River Green 3-bedroom is even smaller at 786 square feet versus ours at 818 and the smallest one at 861. So in terms of the price wise, it's still about the same, 2.188 versus about 2.2 starting from. Now the 4-bedroom in River Green cannot fight because their size is at 980 square feet. Kacang putih, yes lah, but 980 square feet, which brings their quantum to 2.7, whereas in Zyon Grand, if you were to enter a 4-bedroom, it's easily hitting 4 million. With River Green in comparison, right, really depending on the profile and how it affects you, if you're going to sell to an investor or you're looking for a smaller size unit, then this is something for you to think about because for investors, they are very number driven. It's just how much they're buying for, how much they can rent for, and which one makes more investment sense for them. And River Green is in D10, so it's also sheltered to Great Wall MRT. If you were to enter a smaller unit at Zyon Grand, your layout better be better. Otherwise, in terms of price-wise, there will definitely be some competition and comparison next time between buyers. Right? So this is something to take note of. But of course, for the bigger unit type, right? Let's say people who don't like River Green because it's more investment-centric, because the floor plan or whatsoever doesn't suit them, it's too small, then Zyon Grand will also still win because in terms of the livability, I genuinely think that Zyon Grand's 3-bedder floor plans are actually pretty okay, except for the one that has an open kitchen concept. But other than that, Zyon Grand's layout is really good. So it caters to different people, you know. Like for investors who just want pure investment, I think River Green is a product that they will look at. But however, if you're talking to own stay people who aspire to stay in this area for schools and stuff, they would want better facility, they would want better mix of the residents within the condo itself, instead of like always having to change neighbors, having different nationalities. They will cater to different market. But if your buying price is very drastically different from River Green, then there will definitely be competition. So I would say Zyon Grand is actually like a middle ground product. But in terms of own stay element, Zyon Grand definitely wins Promenade Peak and River Green. So in conclusion, basically Zyon Grand caters more to own stay, and you can also clearly see from the unit mix. Okay, now down to the final part, my honest review. Would I put my own money into Zyon Grand? My answer is yes and no. If I'm a buyer looking to buy this place for own stay, My answer would be a yes, because personally, I do like this area. In terms of the developments and the competition wise, we will be the newest development there, and yet we are very family oriented. We also have shelter all the way to Havelock MRT. There's a childcare within it, and there's also 1 km to River Valley Primary School. In terms of all the attributes, Zyon Grand compared to Promenade Peak and compared to River Green for own stay, I think it is definitely a much better environment. However, if you're an investor looking to cash out within the next 4 to 5 years, I honestly will be a bit worried for you, because earlier on I shared on the supply of this place. We have all the 3 developments plus upcoming 2 plots coming up. Your TOP supply is going to be a lot. So I don't expect the owners here to be able to cash out within the next 4 to 5 years with a sizable profit. Instead, I think that if you're an investor who don't mind holding this place for a longer period of time and then getting rental income, it will be a good investment, because this is where your rental yield is also very high. So end of the day, as an investor, it ultimately depends on your holding time frame and what's your purpose. If you want to run through some of your own cases, what is the best solution or what stack to choose, do feel free to reach out to me. You can WhatsApp me, scan the QR code, or WhatsApp me at 90689256. Ultimately, whatever that I just shared is the CMA, competitive market analysis, and also comparing within certain developments. We only have the starting from price, and the most important thing is on the launch day itself, how much are the developers going to price and how much is the per floor level jump. So this is only something that I can analyze and advise on the launch day itself, and it's super important because you don't want to be choosing the wrong unit and losing out 100 to 200k profits. I hope this review is helpful to you. If you like it, please don't forget to help me to follow me, subscribe, and then like, and then also feel free to share it with your own friends. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!